This is 8 Minutes of Awesome. I'm Jennifer Lipsky. Marjorie Canales says that she spent most of her life trying to find something. And then the day came when she realized she had what she needed all along. Joining me now is Marjorie Canales. Marjorie, welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. How are you?
Oh, very well, thanks. And I would love for you to share for people what it is that you realize and how it brought you to where you are and what you do.
What I help others with today, Jennifer, is what I struggled with my whole life, which is fear. And just, I think that it all stems from, I mean, I got our growing up, and our desire to belong and to fit in. And fear is something that definitely drove most of my decisions. And, I struggled with this fear because I feel like I always had to contain my true expression. I had to almost like dim my light, if you will, to fit in and to just feel like I belonged. So it's something that, like I said, once I started to see fear for what it really is, I started to change how I dealt with it. And one of the main thing is that fear I discovered is repressed energy. It's just that blocked energy that we are trying to control from expressing, and it's leading us into it's actually the greater the fear, the I think the greater the love that is waiting to be expressed. So how I came to that realization is I would say that in short, I woke up. A Course in Miracles is probably one of the most profound teachings that helped me realize that I am not separate from God, and that the whole separation is an illusion, and that really, ultimately, what we all are, that energy that flows through all of us, is just love seeking expression. And that fear is really just us trying to contain it. It's just unexpressed love. So once I started to see it that way, I realized that really is just love waiting to be expressed. And I want to, my life embracing that and allowing that in my life has empowered me to help others with that. And I feel that that's what I'm here to do. That's the work that I'm here to do.
Mm, yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And certainly through that transition time, you probably, we all experience days that can be challenging. Things come along that we just don't quite expect. And so, how was it that you navigated some of those challenging and tough times? What do you do to stay strong through those times?
Definitely. Well, before, I have to tell you that before I used to see things as happening to me. So, I almost felt like I somehow deserved it, or it was almost like bad karma that I put out there coming back to me. And in the once I realized that actually it's quite the opposite, that things are happening for me. Um, I allow myself to feel that because I realize that it is what is, it's the process. It's almost like, when a baby's about to be born, there's a period of pain and there's a period of discomfort for this beautiful thing to happen. So the way I deal with it now is I don't try to snap out of it or try to pretend it's not there. I used to do that. I used to try to distract myself from it, or almost like guilt myself for not for feeling what I felt. And I think it's just like feelings are always like signposts, like telling us what we're like. We have to respect that feeling because it's talking to us. So I don't guilt myself for feeling it anymore. I used to go into this really bad downward spiral, but now I definitely, one of the best things I do is I sit there and I realize that it's almost like a blessing coming, almost like the storm that needs to happen, to to break what needs to be broken so that it can become something better. So that's definitely how I see it. Is it helps me for sure.
Yeah, and you touched on something really important, and you mentioned about kind of listening to our bodies. Our bodies are almost like signposts that help to guide us. I would like you to speak to that a little bit. What are your thoughts on the messages that our bodies give us?
Oh, definitely. Well, I have to tell you that Lisa Rankin, who wrote that book, Mind Over Medicine, is right on point with that. And reading, I've read some of it, like I've read some, I haven't finished her book, but she speaks as the body as being like the most vulnerable, and it's almost like if you think of stones on top of the other, the body is right at the top. So everything on the other levels, on the astral levels and everything, is always going to come back to the body, and it's going to show us what our soul is trying to say. So, sometimes we have a rash or we have a pain. Like I know when I have pain, my body's speaking to me, and I even know depending on where the pain is, like what it's trying to say. Sometimes like I'm doing like the free will, like I'm not maybe exercising my free will, and I'm doing things that I think I should do but I don't really want to do, things like that. And it's all about blocked energy. I think at the end of the day, it's just saying that to us, like acne or body, or even like getting sick. Whenever we get sick, is just that stress, that we're creating. And I love how Lisa Rankin says that our body is naturally programmed to heal itself if we would just let go of all the things that keep that from happening. Because it's all the mind activity that keeps that from happening. And we are so powerful that we can heal ourselves or make ourselves sick. So we have the power to do either one. And it's just about not letting our mind run us, but letting that beautiful energy, program the mind the way that it serves us, not goes against us, because it's so powerful. It's really like I feel like the mind is like this machine, that is a well-oiled machine that will take us where we want to go, but we need to be the driver. We can't let it drive itself off a cliff.
Right.
Not like a car. Like I think of it sometimes like an unsupervised mind is like a car that will literally drive itself off a cliff. We we can really do a number on ourselves if we let our mind go wild. So
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, absolutely. And in the work that you do, and what you described was, really spot on. We are the ones that are in control of, keeping ourselves well, or maybe, going to where we're expressing through sickness, right?
Mhm.
So if someone is having those kinds of challenges where they're kind of experiencing you say, energy blocks, or maybe experiencing something physically that they think, wow, this is something, and I need to find out what it is to make my life better, or to make my life go in the direction that I want it to.
Mhm.
What would be some suggestions that you could offer to someone to just start the process of kind of listening in and starting to maybe make some changes? What would be your suggestions?
Um, One of the things I mean, I know that the environment changes are important because ultimately, it is our relationships, it is our job that creates, like, these are like, if you have you could eat the healthiest on the planet, but if you have a job that is a soul-sucking job that you feel painful doing, you have to drag yourself there, and you don't think it, you feel constricted, and you feel like it's not your true expression, and almost like you're I know in my previous job I felt like I was selling out, what I stood for, just to for to do that job. So anyhow, I think that when we do something that we don't love, when we're in a relationship that we know it's not good for us. All of these things are crucial before we address, like, the non-smoking or the exercising or the healthy eating. Those are all important. They're all pieces of the puzzle, but the root of it all is, I think, our belief system. I think that before we can allow ourselves to have anything, we have to believe we deserve it. And that's the core of it, because I think that we can, many people can love us, and many people can offer us solutions and can be rooting for us and can say, I believe in you, you can do it. But if you don't believe it for yourself, you will not leave the toxic relationship, you will not leave the job, you will not take the leap, you will not make the changes that that you need to make. So, there could be a great coach out there that is so successful, telling you what you need to do. But if you don't believe you deserve it, if you don't believe that you deserve to take 30 minutes a day to do exercise or to meditate or to, like I said, leave that job or that relationship, nothing can move forward. So I would say addressing the belief system is definitely key to changing anything, because nobody can ever give you what you refuse to give yourself. I have learned that the hard way. I have had many people that showed me love, but until I can give it to myself, um, it just rolls right off. I have to
Right.
tell you, it has to
Yeah.
come from within.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that insight. And I would love for you to share if there was one message that you had in your heart right now for others to hear, what would that message be?
I love that. I think my main message is that we're just really here. I know this is a little bit deep and spiritual, and but I think that we are just really here. We've inhabited this body to express something that is meant to be in the world. Like, we are here to birth the creations that transform us, I feel. And so living to express would be my main message. My brand is Live Naked, and I know that sounds a little bit out there. I get asked all the time, are you a nudist? No. No, Live Naked is not about that. Naked is about when you realize that you are love seeking expression, that really the energy, the true energy of all of us is just love, and that it took this form. The energy that is in you is in me, and it's just expressing itself differently through our life, through our work, through our body. All it really longs to be is just wants to be expressed. And the moment that we try to contain that or repress it is when pain comes, suffering comes, which is my personal journey, which is why, I'm so passionate about helping others with that, because I have been to that side where I felt like just complete darkness, and like I was really like dying, inside, because I felt so trapped in my own life. I felt like there was this something that I kept uh, covering up, and instant gratification, became like a way to numb the pain. When I felt that emptiness again, that void, I would go and buy something, or I would take a new class, or I had to keep myself busy, because I think that, we're scared sometimes to be alone because we don't know what's going to surface. So the TV goes on, or we call somebody, or we go on social media, because sometimes we're afraid of what to face, what we know, because really deep down, I think, we all really know when we are living in alignment with who we really are, and when we're not, and I certainly wasn't. And I feel like that, it's a work in progress, and we're always growing, but I feel like I am aligned with what I'm here to do in the world. And yeah, so my message in short is live to express. That is what Live Naked is. Live to express that beautiful energy. Don't repress it. Others, we just by default, we empower others to do the same. When we speak up, when we stand up for what we believe in, when we do the crazy dance, when we write that post that people are waiting to hear that nobody will say, when we say those words that nobody will say, that is when we're most vulnerable. Because I've discovered that, to be powerful, you have to be willing to be vulnerable because our most powerful self is also the most fragile. When I am willing to just let it all hang out is when I really feel in alignment with that power. But you have to be willing to let go, and sometimes things are not going to come out right, or you're going to look a little bit crazy to self-expression, I say.
Yeah.
So
Living
yeah.
to express, a beautiful message. And, for anyone who would like to reach Marjorie directly, to connect with her, to learn more about the work she does, you can reach her through her website, marjoriecanales.com. And Marjorie, thank you so much for sharing this time with me here today.
It's a deep honor, Jennifer.
Oh,
Thank you
thank you.
very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.